Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Fayette Regional Health Talk. I'm Tammy Dowd.
And I'm Doug Fischesser. Thank you for joining us. As always, Health Talk is made possible by TV3 and Fayette Regional Health System, so viewers in the Whitewater Valley can be better informed of the health and wellness topics and opportunities in your area.
Fayette Regional Health Talk is also your source for up-to-date health news and information on events that are important to Connersville, Fayette County, and the entire Whitewater Valley. First up in this edition of Health Talk is the news that Dr. Gary Metcalf is now practicing at the Fayette Regional Physician Center at 1908 Park Road with nurse practitioner Janice Horan.
Other news is a reminder that Fayette Regional Health System has extended hours for your immediate care needs at their Fayette Regional Primary Care Center at 2025 Virginia Avenue, just 1 block north of the hospital.
Fayette Regional Primary Care Center has a full staff of care providers with Dr. Ryan Minnick and Dr. Jessica Duyard, along with experienced nurse practitioners. They can take care of all of your immediate care needs 7 days a week. Walk-ins are welcome, no appointment needed, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and weekends 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., seeing adults, seniors, and children too.
An important ongoing event is the effort to sign up people for the HIP 2.0 program. Fayette Regional and ClaimAid are working to help the community better understand the recently approved Indiana Medicaid expansion program, Healthy Indiana Plan HIP 2.0. HIP 2.0 is an affordable health insurance program for the state of Indiana for uninsured adult Hoosiers. The Healthy Indiana Plan pays for medical expenses and provides incentives for members to be more health conscious. HIP 2.0 provides coverage for qualified low-income Hoosiers ages 19 through 64 who are interested in participating in a low-cost, consumer-driven health care program. It's a great plan for people to work with their doctor for most cost-effective and preventative care.
Choosing a health care provider, determining monthly premiums, and understanding health insurance plans may be difficult for families and individuals who have never had health insurance. Fayette Regional and ClaimAid are happy to help you. They can give you an overview of HIP 2.0, outline who is eligible, show you how to apply, and explain how to utilize the program. And if you are eligible, ClaimAid has certified navigators available to guide you through the entire enrollment process.
There are free HIP 2.0 education seminars scheduled throughout the area. If you would like to attend, have any questions, or would like to enroll in HIP 2.0, please contact Tricia Blevins at Fayette Regional by calling 765-827-8998.
And we also want to highlight the many events and activities and health screenings coming up this month, all sponsored by Fayette Regional. The first Wednesday of each month, Fayette Regional will be at Fountain Place Apartments in Connersville to provide education and activities beginning at 2 o'clock.
The first Friday of each month, Fayette Regional Care Pavilion and Jerry Sykes Services host a caregivers relaxation luncheon from 11 to 1 p.m. Tammy, you know a little bit more about this event.
I do. Caring for persons with chronic illnesses is a rewarding endeavor, but it often places extreme demands on the caregiver, who can sometimes become overwhelmed trying to balance work, family, and caregiving demands. And this can result in the neglect of their well-being. We are pleased to offer this Caregivers Relaxation Luncheon as a time of respite for caregivers to refresh mind, body, and spirit, and learn ways of taking care of themselves. Call 765-827-8022 for more information or to make your reservation.
The second Tuesday of each month is a busy one for Fayette Regional. Southview Courts in Liberty, Indiana hosts Fayette Regional. Blood pressure and blood sugar screenings are provided along with education and activities.
Fayette Regional is also at Franklin County Senior Center at 9 a.m. the second Tuesday of each month, again providing education, activities, and health screenings. Continuing on the second Tuesday of each month, Fayette Regional offers a free lunch and learn to area seniors at the Fayette County Senior Center. And this monthly event is always well attended and free health screenings are offered. Our presentation begins at 11 and lunch will be served at 11:30. If you wish to attend, please make your reservation by calling Fayette County Senior Center.
Fayette Regional staff and the community alike raise their sleeves throughout the year to give the gift of life. Last year, over 60 units of blood were donated, helping supply over 60 hospitals in Indiana. Please join us by supporting these blood drives. Go to FayetteRegional.org for a full listing of blood drive dates.
Finally, remember that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Fayette Regional is once again proud to sponsor the Pink Pajama Party. It's Saturday, October 10th from 6 to 10 at the Miller Building in Roberts Park, with all proceeds benefiting the Fayette County Cancer Society. The evening will be filled with food, fun, facials, and much more. Please contact Karen O'Brien at 765-827-8000 for tickets and more details. Please tune in for TB3's listing of local events to find other special events that Fayette Regional is hosting in your area each month. We look forward to seeing you. And when we return, I'll be interviewing our own Doug Fischhescher, Director of the Fayette Regional Foundation, responsible for many important improvements to the health care facilities in our community. And we'll be right back.
Can't afford health insurance? Fayette Regional can help. The Healthy Indiana Plan, HIP, has been expanded, and now many more Hoosiers qualify. There are inexpensive plans that include medical, dental, and vision care. Fayette Regional has the resources and staff that can help you sign up. Call 765-827-8998 or visit FayetteRegional.org for more info. Fayette Regional, your community hospital.
Welcome back. Joining us now is our own Doug Fischhescher, Director of the Fayette Regional Foundation. Thanks for letting us turn the table on you from host to guest.
This is going to be a little bit different this time, being answering all the questions and being the guest, but I think you're going to help me through this, aren't you?
I think we can make it happen. Let's start by finding out a little bit about your personal background and how you ended up as director of the foundation.
Well, actually, I was born right here in the Fayette Regional Health Center, Connersville Hospital, I guess, back then, some 64 years ago, a long time ago. Went to college at Florida State and came back and been here in Connersville since '74. So I was in the sales business for 27 years. Was on the road, and as things would happen, the foundation was closed for about 15 months, and I had gotten out of the sales business in '06, and our former CEO had called me and asked if I might want to come over and talk to him about a position as the foundation director.
Well, there you go. And the rest is history, right?
The rest is history so far. That's
All
right.
right. So speaking of history, let's talk a little bit about the history and the background of the foundation.
Well, the foundation got started in 1981 with a bequest of $627,000 from the J. Earl Henry family. I think at the time the hospital thought that, boy, if a bequest of this size, we might want to set up a foundation and start raising funds to help support the hospital. So those monies were used to build the physician's office building now, which is the primary care center, just north of the hospital, north of the parking lot there. And the foundation has, since then, funded such big expansions as the 1995 building and the 2003 building, and a lot of other things that we'll be able to talk about. Okay. The 95 expansion actually is what is the southern part of the hospital, and basically the surgical areas on the second floor, the ER area on the first floor, and then the 2003 major expansion was basically the west part of the hospital, which took care of the on the first floor, which is the oncology area, and the second floor is the birthing center, and third floor is the rehab area and the pool and that area.
Okay. So that's when they brought the pool. Exactly. I know a lot of people are surprised to find out that the hospital actually has a pool on the third floor for therapy purposes, and so, okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Well, very good. All right, so you talked about some of, in the past years, the renovations and what have we done in the recent years? What has the foundation been able to do for the hospital as far as upgrades and expansions?
Well, actually, what the foundation does yearly, a lot of people don't know, we are a 501c3 charitable organization, and we help to disperse funds, raise funds, receive and disperse funds for the hospital. A lot of people don't know charity care. Every year, the hospital does about $60 million in charity care a year, and that encompasses uncompensated debt, bad debt, insurance non-payment, things like that, Medicare and Medicaid. For instance, we get paid about 30 cents on the dollar for Medicare, about 15 cents on the dollar for Medicaid. Also, too, the hospital does about $1.7 million in free charity care. That care is based on income, federal poverty guidelines, things like that. So the foundation helps support those types of things. Also, too, as we talked about facilities expansion and renovation, just lately, Brookville Healthplex in 2009, and the third floor renovation in 2010, and just lately the ER renovation in 2012. And we're doing some things right now for the Jerry Syke patio renovation program. So we also yearly help with state-of-the-art equipment. There's $20 to $30 million of equipment within the hospital. We use that equipment every day, and some of that needs to be upgraded. So obviously the foundation helps with that. And also, too, every year the foundation helps fund and with health fairs, blood draws, and also some different fundraising events.
Okay, all right. And let me just understand, so there, you have a board then, I guess, that gets to get together and you all decide which projects are you're going to fund, and that's one of the areas that you work closely with the board as far as raising money and distributing that money for helping the hospital. We
do. We have our own, the foundation has its own separate board, separate from the hospital board. There are 11 members, mainly made up with the CEO, and the hospital president is on our board, along with a physician representative and members from the community. So work obviously very closely with our board and the hospital board with things that we need funding for and things like that.
And so what are some of your typical funding sources for the foundation?
Funding sources mainly, the individuals make up about 70% of our funding sources, and through individuals, through that funding comes from event sponsorships. We'll talk a little bit about our gala and our golf outing. Also, too, some individuals will put us in their will, plan giving, whether it might be through their wills or their estate, and also, too, through memorial contributions, too. Also, corporations and organizations. Again, corporations and organizations through our event sponsorship is a big part of that. And also, too, there are some charitable funding arms through corporations and organizations that we do. The foundation is also funded through some of that also. Foundations, the Fayette County Foundation, as an example, downtown, some people will set up an endowment fund through them. And also we receive funds mainly through yearly through the interest off of those endowment type funds. And then also through grant opportunities. We have a grant writer, full-time grant writer that we research and apply for local, state, and government federal funding for grants.
Okay. I know in addition to all these that you mentioned that you have 2 major events each year. Can you tell us a little bit about those and what happens at these events?
Our 2 major fundraisers are our gala, which was that was in March, March 7th to be exact, and our other major fundraiser is the golf outing. We just had that a couple weeks ago on the 29th of August. But our gala is this year we had our theme was the Hollywood Gala, kind of take off on the Oscar type of theme, and this was the 15th year for the gala. It was started back in 2001 with the purpose to sort of a thank you to our donors, our suppliers, the people of the community who help support the hospital. So our previous administration had taken it to Indianapolis for 3 or 4 years, and we brought it back in 2010, and we wanted to, again, like I say, we want to thank the community for what they do for us. Our suppliers and vendors do a great job in donating and being a part of the gala. So we really wanted to, that way, that's a great way to thank the community for what they do for us. It is a catered event. Again, the theme was the Oscars. Anybody, you could come dressed up in jeans, tuxedos. You could make it a really, really nice night out. But we came as our favorite actor and actresses, and it was a fun thing. We have a silent and live auction, which helps raise this money for the event. We have about 70 different silent auction items and about 8 or 10 live auction items. And we have a great band called Endless Summer. They've been with us about 7 years. They love to come to Connorsville. They love to be a part of the gala.
Great band.
It is definitely a great party, great time. And but it's an event that we can thank our donors and suppliers and vendors for what they do for us each year. So our golf outing I mentioned just got done. Just was over on 2 Saturdays ago. Had a great time. We had over 200 players. It's 2 sessions. This was the 35th year for the golf outing. It's probably the most popular outing in the area. Always. We get a lot of vendors and suppliers, again, donate a lot of prizes. And that's, that goes without saying that, again, the support is fantastic. Of course, Willowbrook, we have it at Willowbrook Country Club. They do a great job for us. And it's just a very, it's a fun event. Long day, but it's a very fun event. A lot of players come back every year, and it's getting bigger.
And I was able to take some pictures of the event and discovered we have some great golfers in the area, and then we have a lot of people that enjoy coming to the outing just to have a good time.
Yes, we do. That's what we do. And that's all part of it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Golf's a great game. We sometimes we take it a little bit too seriously, but there's a lot of people that play it for fun and excitement and just to have a good time. And we have
5-man teams, right?
Right, it's 5-man teams. It's your typical scramble format where you take your best shot each time. And like I say, we have a lot of players. We have about 100 players in the morning, 100 players in the afternoon. So the scramble format kind of moves things along, and we get it done pretty quickly. So it's a fun event.
Our very own Fayette Regional Dietary Services provides an amazing meal, and
they do.
And some of the admin team man the grill, so it's a team event, truly.
Randy White, our CEO, won the hamburger cooking championship again in 2015. So
all right, he's the reigning grill master.
Those guys, and let me say too about a lot of our volunteers. We have about 30 to 40 volunteers or team leaders, team members that help put on the gala, and about the same number that help put on the golf outing. So we have a great volunteer effort at the hospital that obviously help us put these types of things on and for support for the hospital and what we do.
It takes everyone to make it happen, make it a success.
It does.
That's awesome. Okay, so educate me. Tell me a little bit about the annual appeal. What happens with the annual appeal?
The annual appeal it runs for 3 months. Starts October 1st, runs through the end of December. It gives we reach out to the community to raise funds for departments and different projects that's going on at the hospital. Objectives of the appeal obviously is number one, to inform the public what's going on in the hospital and the foundation, what we need, what we're doing, and things like that. It establishes a giving habit for our donors. Also develops our donor base. Obviously, it widens our donor base, and it's great. It's a great basis for planned giving. A lot of people, as they go through life, we've all been through this. We have kids going to college and things like that. We don't have a chance to maybe donate and donate to some of the things that we want to because we have other expenses and things like that. So it kind of renews the donors' giving opportunities. Sure. Kind of sets, again, like I said, a base for planned giving, and also obviously it raises money for the for the programs and the things that we're doing in the hospital.
Well, very good. And you touched briefly on grants. And the part, what does that play? What part does the grant giving play in your funding?
Well, obviously, depending on what we're doing, I'll give you a couple examples. When we did our third floor renovation, we renovated 18 rooms up on the third floor surgical area, and we researched and applied for a grant that helped pay for. We bought 51 new beds for the 18 patient rooms and also the ICU and the area up there. So 51 new beds is a pretty big expense, but we researched and wrote a grant, and through some grant funding, we helped pay for those beds. Some of the other projects that we've done in the hospital, we did a new part of the HVAC system, and we got a state grant to help pay for some of those. So obviously that's just another way to secure funding to do some of the renovations and some of the other things that we're doing in the hospital.
Good. Okay.
So
I understand that the volunteers and that program, the volunteer program, also falls under the foundation umbrella. Can you tell us a little bit about what they do, what do our volunteers do, and how important their contribution is to Fayette Regional?
Our volunteers, as you had mentioned, it comes under the umbrella of the foundation. I'm sort of their director or their superior, as we say, but I call them my favorite ladies, and obviously there's some men volunteers also. But the volunteer program, we have about 120 total volunteers, about 80 active volunteers. They come in every day. They help just do the everyday little things that go on in the hospital. They meet people at the front desk. They run the gift shop. They do shredding. They man some of the surgical areas and the surgical desks and things like that. So they deliver mail and flowers, and so it's just they do a lot of things for us every day that that help the hospital run. I always talk about out in public, and we talk to them about if it weren't for them, the hospital wouldn't run every day.
It's true.
So it's a great program. It was started in 1958 by a lady named Velda Webster, and basically it was a group of women that got together that wanted to support not only financially but physically what goes on in the hospital. Within 6 months, the organization had about 250 members. So,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it grew very quickly, and became very, very popular.
That's awesome. Yeah, their friendly faces are oftentimes the first that you see when you walk into the hospital. So,
Yep.
Well, it was a pleasure having you as our guest, not just the host today, and hopefully this is information that is going to be valuable to everyone listening in our listening audience.
Right. Well, thank you, Tammy. And if anybody has any questions, wants to donate, or wants any questions about the golf outing, the gala, annual appeal, and also volunteer information, get a hold of me at the office at 765-827-7798 or Doug F. at FayetteRegional.org.
All right, and we'll be right back.
Fayette Regional Mental Health Minute.
There are times in our lives when our emotional spirit becomes out of balance. When this happens, we may feel depressed, hopeless, despair, guilt, or anxiety. We may feel out of place in our lives, as if our purpose or meaning in life has changed. Emotional spirit involves our beliefs and values, and these may feel threatened or challenged. To rebalance the scale for spiritual health, clarify personal values and beliefs, identify personal strengths, seek enjoyment, meditate, or express yourself through art, music, or keeping a journal. When the scale is out of balance for too long, or you can't do it alone, seek professional help. For more information on achieving life in balance, call Fayette Regional Care Pavilion at 765-827-8022. There's help, there's hope.
Welcome back. I would like to welcome our special guest with us today, one of our community partners, Lynn Adams, administrator from Whitewater Commons in Liberty, Indiana. Welcome.
Thank you for having me today, Tammy.
Yes, well, we are very, very happy to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at Whitewater Commons, and also a little bit about the name change, because some may be asking Whitewater Commons. I have not heard of Whitewater Commons.
Yeah, that's been a big question lately. I've been the administrator for about a year now at Whitewater Commons, formerly Sycamore Springs.
Okay.
We've recently went through some extensive renovations that we'll talk about in a little bit.
Okay.
There's another facility in the state that we were getting confused with.
Oh,
and with
right.
our new renovations, we felt like it was just time for a change.
Sure.
I've been in the long-term care industry for over 20 years. Actually started my career in healthcare out as a nurse.
All right.
So I have a nursing background, so I think that's a benefit to being an administrator, because when families or residents speak to me, I can
Sure.
be able to answer any questions they may have, sometimes without directing them to other staff members.
Awesome. That's great.
So tell us about some of the exciting things going on at Whitewater Commons.
There have been a lot of exciting things at Whitewater Commons. In October of last year, as I just had mentioned, we started undergoing some extensive renovations. Thankfully, we are at the point that most of our work is almost done. We're doing finishing touches now. We've got all new electric beds in the facility, which is something that a lot of the facilities don't have, that we're very thankful to have. We're now down to the fun part of the furnishings, the decorations, new common area furniture, putting new recliners in all of our resident rooms. We're very proud of where the facility was and now where we are.
Well, that's beautiful. I can attest to that, definitely.
Explain some of the types of services you offer, anything different or new or anything like that.
Actually, we offer the same variety of services that are offered by many of the facilities in the area. Of course, we have physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. We also offer respite care for those caregivers who are caring for individuals at home that may need a little bit of a break. Offer hospice services for end-of-life care. We are very proud of the fact that we do offer, which is something that other facilities sometimes don't, is full-time respiratory therapy staff.
Okay.
We have certified respiratory therapists that are full-time on our staff that have extensive knowledge and training in trach care and other respiratory treatments. Most facilities offer respiratory services, but it's their floor nurses. It's the nurses that are going to pass the medications that are going to be the same ones providing that service. We have a dedicated department just for respiratory services.
Great.
I know that insurance concerns always come up. What
Absolutely.
insurances does Whitewater Commons accept?
Of course, we accept the normal services or the normal insurances such as Medicare, Medicaid, and private pay. We offer a wide variety of payment sources for our individuals. Blue Cross, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, Sagamore, and most recently, we're really proud of the fact that we are participating in the Healthy Indiana plan.
Awesome, great.
So we would be able to help individuals who are members of that to be able to receive long-term care services.
Wonderful, wonderful. And when a resident comes to Whitewater, what can the family expect out of Whitewater Commons?
I think the thing that they find most when they come to our facility is it is a smaller facility. So it's home-like. I have a very friendly staff. For our residents who come in needing rehab to home services, our therapy department prides themselves in a protocol which allows us to get our average stay less than 30 days.
Okay.
Right now, I think we're looking at about an average stay of rehab to home 22 days. We'd like for them to stay with us, but if they'd like to go back home, that's what we want as well. So we're going to get them there as quickly as possible.
Lynn, would you care to share your contact information and where you're located?
Sure. We are located at 215 West High Street in Liberty, Indiana. I ask anyone to come in and just stop and take a tour of the facility. Your family may not be ready for long-term care or rehab right now, but when it's time to make a choice, it's very difficult to make a choice at the last minute. So I urge everyone to take tours of the surrounding facilities to find out where they're most comfortable with.
Well, thank you for coming and being our guest today and sharing with us about the Whitewater Commons. And that is all the time we have today. I'm Tammy Dowd. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Doug Fischesser. Stay healthy, Connorsville.